Hello students, welcome to online lectures of Mumbai International School and Junior College. This lecture is for class 4, subject English, poem, Time for Everything. Let's begin. Time. Children, time is the most important thing because you cannot get it back. Time never stops for anyone. If you waste your time today, you will never get it back. So we must do everything on time. If we complete our work on time, we will have enough time to play, to rest, and to do our favorite activities. Children, in this poem Time for Everything also, we will learn that there is a specific and particular time to do everything. Let us now recite the poem. Time for everything. There's a time to run and a time to walk. There's a time for silence, a time for talk. There's a time for work and a time for play. There's a time for sleep at the close of day. There's a time for everything you do, for children and for grown-ups too. A time to stand up and a time to sit, but see that the time and actions fit. There's a time to run and a time to walk. Children, when you participate in a race or when you are late to reach somewhere, you know that it is now time to run. But children, we do not run all the time. There is also a time to walk. For example, when you go to the market to buy vegetables, or when you go to school, or when you want to go to your friend's house, you walk. That is a time to walk. So children, there is a time when we should run and there is a time when we should walk. There's a time for silence, a time for talk. Children, what happens when you visit a library or a hospital? You then know that it is time to keep silence, because if you talk at that time, then you will disturb everyone else there. So there is a time for silence. But children, what will you do if your teacher asks you a question or when you meet your friend after a very long time? Children, that is the time when you should talk, when you should speak. So children, there's a time when you should be silent and there's a time when you should talk. There's a time for work and a time for play. Children, you cannot work all the time and you cannot play all the time. For example, there is a time for you to work during the day. That is, when you attend your school, tuitions, when you sit to complete your homework, that is the time for you to work. And there is a time during the day when you play. For example, after your homework, in the evening, you go to a playground and play. You cannot go to school at night and play in the morning. So there is a time for you to work and there is a time for you to play. There's a time for sleep at the close of day. Children, when the day finishes, when the day ends, that is when it is night, you then know that it is now time to go to bed. It is now time to sleep. So, night time is the time for sleep. There's a time for everything you do. Children, whatever activities you do in a day, there is a specific time when you should do it. We wake up in the morning, take bath in the morning, eat breakfast in the morning, we eat lunch in the afternoon, we go to school in the afternoon, we come back home in the evening, we eat our dinner at night, we go to bed at night. Everything we do is fixed according to the time. So there's a time for everything you do. For children and for grown-ups too. There is a time to do everything, for children and for grown-ups too. The work done by children is different and the work done by grown-ups like our mother, father is different. For children, they study, they eat, they play, they sleep, etc. There is a particular time when they should do all this. For grown-ups, they shop, they clean, they work, they cook, they eat, they sleep, and they do many other activities. For them also, there is a particular time when they should do all this. There is a different time to do different things for both children and for grown-ups. A time to stand up and a time to sit. Children, there is a time when we stand. For example, when we are waiting for a bus or auto, we stand. When we go for a PT activity, we stand in line. When we hear or speak our national anthem, we stand. So children, there is a time to stand. Time to sit. When we eat, study, watch TV, etc., we sit. So children, there's a time when we should stand up and there's a time when we should sit. But see that time and actions fit. Children, all our actions, all our work should be done according to the time. The time and action should match each other. For example, at night we must go to sleep. But here the girl is watching TV. Here, the time is not fit for her action. We must study and be active in our classroom. But here the boy is sleeping during his class. Here also the time is not fit for his action. So we must take care that our actions should match with the correct time. And we should also not waste time. Only then we will be successful in our lives. This was all about the poem Time for Everything.